My name is Agness CC. I was born in a small town in Zambia. Then after my mother passed on, I went to live with my grandparents in a rural town. So I basically grew up on a farm. I was a farm girl, doing all kinds of farm work while growing up. And at that time when I was growing up, we had no idea there was a career out there called agricultural economics. All we knew was being a medical doctor. So I grew up aspiring to be a medical doctor. And then when I got to university, in my first year of university, that is at the University of Zambia, we got to hear like options of careers that one could take. So I learned about agricultural economics. I learned about how people in agricultural economics can make a difference, especially for Zambia, which is an agrarian economy. And so I decided to branch into agricultural economics. The concepts in agricultural economics were very familiar. They would talk about rural households, and I grew up in one, so it was easy for me to relate with the field. And my passion actually for it grew because I realized that I could actually make a difference in people's lives. I could make a difference for people who were growing up in rural households, dependent on agriculture, just the way I grew up. And actually, more than 70% of the Zambian population lives in rural areas and are dependent on agriculture. So I thought this was an opportunity for me to make a difference. So after obtaining my bachelor's degree in agricultural economics from the University of Zambia with distinction, I came to Kansas State University to get a master's in agricultural economics. And so that is what I am actually working on. The Delta Kappa Gamma Fellowship was very, very helpful for me in my first semester, and of course even this semester. I have been here for one fall semester, which was the 2014 fall semester, and this is when I'm just beginning my spring semester. In my fourth semester, members of the Delta Kappa Gamma Fellowship would send me emails just to check up on how I'm doing at school. They would email, they would send mail, they would send cards, Christmas cards, and that was very, very supportive of them. Most importantly, the support from Delta Kappa Gamma Fellowship, particularly the fund that they provided for me in the fourth semester, was very, very, very helpful in terms of helping me concentrate on school. Some of the things that I could have been worried about, like where am I going to sleep, where is my food going to come from, those things were taken care of by the fellowship. Then the biggest adjustment I had to make moving to Kansas from Zambia. I traveled to Kansas 1 week after my wedding. So the travel from Zambia to Kansas was very, very painful. I had to leave my husband with little certainty of him joining me, because the time I was coming, we were not even sure how we're going to process his visa, his travel arrangements. So it was actually really a leap of faith on my part. Then when I got here, I still had to adjust to cultural differences, differences in the educational system. The food was very weird, and I had to adjust to the new food here, and all those adjustments were very, very challenging. The good part was I made friends with some people from my class who were also international students, so they helped me go through those changes which they had themselves gone through before I even came here. My husband arrived here in Kansas in December 2014. He is currently doing a distance program from the United Kingdom. He's studying management accounting. He is also hoping to apply into Kansas State University eventually after he finishes his management accounting, and so those are his plans. What are my plans for the future? After I finish my master's degree, I still want to go further and do my PhD, and that is because when I go back to my country, I want to be involved in full-time agriculture research. I think that research in my country has not really been fully appreciated, and its role in development has not really been looked into. And so I hope that when I go back to my country, I can contribute significantly to adoption of suitable policies that will support economic development through my research. And I also want to couple that with a career in teaching. So I hope that when I go back, I can be a professor at one of the universities in Zambia. So that is that about me. Thank you for watching this video.